Well, hey there guys, it's Scott from Fly Rides, and I am out here with a long-awaited electric mountain bike. This is the Bulls E-Stream Evo AM45, the 28 mile per hour electric mountain bike, full suspension juggernaut that can get you to the trails, still have enough battery to let you ride around all day. I'm very excited about this bike. We're going to do a little bit of a breakdown on the experience and show you guys what this bike is all about. So I guess enough of me talking. Let's watch me ride this thing and talk over it. To the voiceover. Well, thanks on camera, Scott. Right off the bat, guys, I'd say this is a way more aesthetically pleasing bike than its predecessor, the E-Stream Evo 45 FS. It's also spec'd out incredibly well. Just a brief rundown, you've got the Bros TF motor, a 650 watt-hour battery, knobby Nick tires, the RockShox Yari fork in the front, and a RockShox Deluxe in the back, both of those offering 150 millimeters of travel. You've got Magura MT5 hydraulic disc brakes on 203 millimeter rotors. And they did take advantage of Bros' ability to have a front derailleur on here. So you've got a 22-speed drivetrain, Shimano GRX-T. I was a little circumspect of that at first because I am a bigger fan of a single chainring up front these days, but it actually ended up being very helpful on the steeper climbs. So with the Bros TF motor, you're losing a little bit of torque when you add that extra speed. So having that front and rear derailleur really was helpful to make the bike a little bit more versatile. Back to you on camera, Scott. There's not a whole lot of times you need a Class 3 trail bike or a full suspension eMTB, but if you live close enough to trails where you could conceivably commute to it and then also ride, this ends up being the perfect bike. I don't think the Bros TF system could realistically get up any sort of steep incline at 28 miles per hour, but you can use that Bros TF system to get up to 28 miles per hour while you're commuting to the trails. Then once you're there, you open up the suspension and it offers you high-end specs so that when you're on the trails, you actually have just overall really solid components that you'll actually want to mountain bike on. So just to extrapolate a little bit on what on camera Scott was saying there, basically a lot of companies when they do these Class 3 eMTBs end up lowering the quality of the components of the bike to make up for the extra cost of the Class 3 motor. Bulls doesn't do that here, so they've got a pretty unique build. So in reality, all that means is that you're getting higher quality components. You already know whether or not you're the type of person who is looking for top quality components or not. You will get a better ride, a more reliable ride with higher quality components. I will say, in terms of a professional opinion, looking at what you get on this bike value-wise, I do think you get a lot of bang for your buck. I can't think of a Class 3 eMTB that is better spec'd out than this one. All right, you guys. So the Evo AM4, it got me to the trails. It's got me on the trails now. And I gotta say, the Bros TF motor, not really wanting for power. A lot of people think the Bros S is the way to go. I dig the Bros S, obviously. I think it's a fantastic motor. Whew, a little out of breath, I have to admit, but that was a tough, steep incline. The Magura MT5s, I think, are perfect for a 28 mile per hour bike. I think you definitely want something a little bit more powerful, especially when it's a trail sort of bike. It's not an aggressively built bike, I wouldn't say, so you're not going to be doing major drops. You can see it's not a super steep head tube angle or anything like that. Steep tube angle is also, you know, it's a cross-country sort of bike, which I think is appropriate for a 28 mile per hour bike because it's probably not the type of thing that people are going to be taking seriously downhill or anything like that because you don't need that on a downhill bike. But for a trail commuter bike, it's kind of perfect. Let's keep riding it. There's a couple things that give away the fact that Bulls knows exactly who this bike is for. For instance, there's no dropper seat post, which more serious riders, they might complain about. But again, it's not really designed for extreme downhill usage. So you probably could externally route a dropper aftermarket. I don't think it's going to fit internally routed because it's pretty packed down there already. Also, there's a kickstand. So this is for, you know, well, let's let on-camera Scott take over here and he'll explain it to you. It's a great all-around mountain bike. Not going to be anything like downhill or anything. I think the experience on this one is probably going to be more for people who want to get to the trails and just hit some nice fire roads, maybe a little bit of single track. It does have that 150 millimeters of travel front and rear, so that you do have a lot of comfort and a ton of suspension on there, but it's not the most aggressively built bike. That's not a problem at all. It's just, you know, it's not going to be used for like heavy downhill speeds. And I think that's why it's gonna be great for beginning riders, moderate riders, and even advanced riders who just want a little bit more of a cross-country experience as opposed to your traditional like downhill eMTB. Man, I just agree with everything that guy says. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, leave a comment below, let us know what you thought, let us know what you think of this bike. Check it out at flyridesusa.com. Until next week when I have another video, I'm gonna be riding this bike, so see you guys later.